and welcome. I'm Geeta Mohan and you're watching India Today Global. While diplomacy is finally being given a chance, it is after Palestinians were brought to their knees, not just the Hamas. What is the cost of war? On Statecraft tonight, we discuss what has Israel achieved in these 2 years and what Palestine has forever lost.
Allahu Akbar!
2 years have passed since October 7th, 2023, that unforgettable day when Hamas fighters crossed Gaza's fortified borders, killed nearly 1,200 innocent Israelis, and took 251 hostages. Yes, a dark day, truly horrific, and one that left Israel reeling. Trauma, fear, grief, the country felt it all. Of course, no one can or should downplay the suffering of those families. But let's take a moment and marvel at Israel's response. 2 years of brilliant strategy under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a man who promised to recover hostages, destroy Hamas, and restore security.
Even before the current fugitive from justice, the Israeli Prime Minister was strengthening Hamas.
The result? Well, let's just go through them point by point. Hello and welcome. You're watching Statecraft with me, Geeta Mohan. Israel's campaign has been relentless, a 2-year war fought not just on the ground, but in the air, on television screens, and in diplomatic chambers. Netanyahu declared from day one that his war was not just a war against Hamas, but a war for Israel's future. Yet 2 years later, the future looks uncertain, scarred, and far from secure. Netanyahu's government framed this war as an existential crusade, a test of Israel's resilience, strength, and moral authority. But as months turned into years, what was meant to be a show of power has turned into a showcase of exhaustion. Hostage recovery. Mission almost half-hearted. First, out of 251 hostages taken, only 148 have been returned alive. 8 rescued by the IDF and the remaining 140 released by Hamas in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians imprisoned in Israel. And of course, 48 remain, of which only 20 are thought to be alive. So yes, Netanyahu's track record in hostage recovery is, let's call it underwhelming. One might even say it's embarrassing. A 2-year campaign, hundreds of airstrikes, and Israel still can't bring everyone home. Eliminating the Hamas. Not quite. Second priority, destroy Hamas. Oh yes, mission accomplished. If your measure of success is killing some of their leaders and a few fighters, Ismail Haniyeh, Yahya Sinwar, gone. But Hamas still exists, still operates, and still launches rockets sometimes. In short, Israel has spent billions, bombed countless civilian areas, and Hamas is still very much alive. Israeli officials claim the group has been significantly degraded, but degraded doesn't mean destroyed. Gaza, total destruction for security. Third priority, 66,000 dead, an estimated 80% civilians, 169,000 injured, homes, hospitals, schools, and mosques leveled. Internally displaced persons, nearly 2 million. Famine, acute. So in terms of safety for civilians, Israel has achieved absolutely nothing. But hey, at least the bombings were precise, right? Or not? International condemnation, a masterclass. Fourth, if your goal is to isolate your country diplomatically, well, Netanyahu deserves a medal. Arrest warrants for war crimes issued by the International Criminal Court. The United Nations calling out genocide. Human rights organizations like B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights publicly denouncing Israel. And yes, South Africa even brought Israel to the International Court of Justice for violating the UN Genocide Convention. Quite the achievement in international relations. Weakening Israel's enemies, mixed bag. Fifth, Netanyahu claims to have weakened Israel's enemies. Hezbollah, partially weakened, though still capable. Houthis, still launching drones and missiles. Iran, Some facilities damaged, sure, but let's not kid ourselves. Iran is far from neutralized. And Syria's Bashar Assad toppled by rebels, not by Israel's hand, but convenient collateral damage for Netanyahu's narrative of regional dominance. So yes, enemies weakened, but at what cost? The diplomatic tide has shifted. Nations once hesitant now openly advocate for a two-state solution. Even American lawmakers have started questioning unconditional aid to Israel. Israel's moral isolation has turned into diplomatic isolation. The narrative has changed from Israel defending itself to Israel destroying Gaza. And for Palestinians, global sympathy, long elusive, has surged. Tel Aviv's streets have turned into battlegrounds of their own, not with bombs, but with placards. Bring them home. Ceasefire now. Netanyahu resign. For a country that once prided itself on unity in crisis, the divisions are deeper than ever. Gaza burns, and the so-called guardians of the Arab cause look away, choosing stability over solidarity, silence over sacrifice. Israel has proven one thing. When it comes to military might, destruction, and global outrage, it is second to none. When it comes to solving the conflict, protecting civilians, or achieving peace, not so much. The United States has entered second week of shutdown and no consensus has been reached yet. Both parties' attempt to end the U.S. government shutdown failed during evening voting in the Senate on Monday. A Republican bill gathered 52 affirmative votes and 42 nays. Previously, the Democratic-led bill had 45 affirmative votes and 50 negative. 3/5 of the Senate were needed to approve the motions put forth. U.S. President Donald Trump said he was happy to work with Democrats on health care policy, but the shutdown must end first. Meanwhile, U.S. talks ended mixed on Monday. The shutdown has happened for the first time in 7 years. Essential workers like air traffic controllers and border patrol agents are continuing work without pay, while non-essential services like FTC, fraud reports, national parks and visa processing have paused.
It could, at some point it will, and you know, the Democrats are the ones that started this, and if you think about it, it's about health care to a large extent. It's about, we want great health care for people. We don't want to give the money away to other people that come pouring into our country, and they've already poured because nobody's coming into our country. Now we have the border totally stopped. In fact, numbers we just announced again, we're at another zero. So we have zero for 4 months in a row. 0 people coming into our country illegally. That's a pretty good number. I'm not sure even I can believe that, Doug, if you want to know the truth. 0. We went from millions of people to 0, but it's pretty close to that number. And the way you stop them is not to give away, not to announce that you're giving everybody free health care, free this and that, but what that does is it affects the American people, because the American people are unable to get good health care. Obamacare has been a wreck, as you know, and to do that, we have to keep it propped up and do the best you can with it. It's a mess.
House and Senate Democrats have consistently made clear that we will sit down with anyone at any time and at any place, either here at the Capitol or over at the White House, to reopen the government, to enact a bipartisan spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people, and to address the Republican health care crisis. Well, the White House has gone radio silent since the Oval Office meeting last Monday, and neither Leader Schumer or myself have heard a word from the administration about resolving this issue, making clear to us that the White House wanted to shut the government down, to continue the chaos that they've been inflicting on the American people since day one of this presidency.
Pakistan has delivered its first ever shipment of rare earth and critical minerals to the United States of America following a deal signed last month with an American company to explore and develop the debt-ridden country's mineral resources. Now, the deal and the shipment have sparked protests in Pakistan, with the party of former Prime Minister Imran Khan, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, raising concerns over what it called secret deals with the U.S. The sample shipment that was shipped to the U.S. includes antimony, copper concentrate, and rare earth elements such as neodymium and praseodymium, according to a report. The shipment of the samples comes after the White House released a picture of Donald Trump staring at a box with rocks that it described as rare earth minerals. Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir was explaining something to Trump as Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif looked on, smiling. Trump's youngest son, Barron Trump, who taught his dad a thing or two about crypto, is now worth a bit over $150 million. The NYU sophomore is making a fortune before he even turns 20. Barron Trump co-founded World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency company, with his father and older brothers last year, less than 2 months before the 2024 election. When Trump won, World Liberty exploded. Forbes estimates that it's added over $1.5 billion to the Trump family fortunes, about 10% of which, or $150 million, belongs to Barron Trump. Meanwhile, Eric Trump claimed Barron Trump has made him the runt of the family. Eric said this during the PBD podcast over the weekend. Eric called Barron tough as hell, vicious as hell, and a great friend. Barron is 6 feet 9 inches. President Donald Trump had earlier credited his youngest son's height to eating meals cooked by his wife Melanie's late mother. Trump revealed that he had urged Barron to become a basketball player, but the youngster did not want to.